Hall. Then it's Liam Murphy, Brian Hardy right with him, down into Honda corner now. Brian Hardy a little bit off form, as he told us, and look at Savage taking a bite out of the inside curve there as they go through turn 2. Then it's Anton Cal, Micheál Balfe, David Hall, Liam Murphy. There's Brian Hardy sorting out that news car, as he said to Adele in the interview. Young Newsom there, really committed right out over the curbs at turn 2. Heading out towards a double apex right-hander now. That's turn 3, and that's number 26, Stephen Drury from Drogheda. Ex-Carter has been going very, very well in this class this year. Wouldn't have the experience of some of the other guys. There's Anton Cal. Great to see him back out. He's as well known for making kebabs in Mondello Paddock as he is for racing Formula Shane's. A man that very much knows how to enjoy his racing. Hardy having a look at Liam Murphy now, and Hardy will be a little bit frustrated. He would expect to be further up, as indeed with that bright yellow car of young Gary Newsom there. Very much a driver to watch out for, but not having a great day today. Here's the man who's doing it all right out in front. Anton Savage. Remains to be seen whether he can hold it out there. Again, clipping that curb on turn 8. A little bit of understeer for second place man Duffy there, and look at Savage out over the curbs using the grass. Here's Hall now pushing very, very hard to try and get back up, and just watch how quick, much speed he can carry there, coming out of 7A and B, heading back up towards the right-left complex now, and Hall already up on the tail of it. Looks like Micheál Balfe. Here's our leader. Second place there is Duffy. Then it's Drury, a big gap back to fourth place, and that looks like Anton Cahill. It is Micheál Balfe and David Hall. Remember, the new champion. He really will want to go out with a top result at the Leinster Trophy meeting, so he's only got to get by these two guys as quick as he can. Cahill now holding the middle of the track there, and Balfe just pulling to the outside. In fact, Cahill slowing possibly there, definitely slowing. I wonder, is that a gear selection problem, because Hall goes by too, and unfortunately Anton Cahill dropping right back. So just chopping the nose from Liam Murphy, so maybe the car's got going again, but certainly slowed down on the main straight. A little bit unusual. They don't give too much trouble, these Formula Shane cars. And now David Hall really has to attack Micheál Balfe, and here he comes, the double apex corner, carrying as much speed as he can through the first bit, down to second gear, gets a good run, and he's right under the gearbox now of Micheál Balfe as they come up. Balfe gets a good exit and beginning to ease away as they come back down towards Holiday in Ireland corner. As we said, usually a left and right, one long left-hander today, out onto the international loop, and here comes the leader now. Again, Savage, a big drift and pushing very hard behind him. Young Trevor Duffy. Trevor Duffy, of course, coming from great stock. His father, Pat Duffy, a Formula Ford 1600 legend in the 70s. A very, very talented driver, and certainly it has passed that on to his son. And again, Hall now giving the work over to Balfe and making him go a little bit wide. Gets up the inside, but Balfe fights back, just holds him off. Great racing between those two guys. Big drift there, characteristic pose from Anton Savage. Balfe going well in third place. And a big, big gap now. Let's see who's next up. And it's the battling duo. Hall still trying. Then it's Cahill. He's got going again. Brian Hardy there right back in the middle of the pack. We just see him coming out of Dunlop corner, and great battles all the way down the grid in Formula Shane. Side by side now, that's young Gary Newsom. We spoke about him not going so well today, but generally a front runner and an ex-Formula V champion. Restex, of course, sponsoring him, and in fact loaning him that car. That's Dermot Doherty's car. Dermot Doherty, a formidable racer himself, and his son now racing karting, and he's also supporting Gary Newsom in Formula Shane. So here we are out of turn 3. Duffy a little bit closer this time, and beginning to pile the pressure on somewhat. Let's see how Savage reacts. I don't think he can get a whole lot more ragged. He's certainly trying very, very hard already. Here's the battle we spoke about. That's young Chris McCabe. Looks like Brian Hardy's car. That's Brian Hardy's nephew, Christopher McCabe. And Newsom getting way out of shape there. Chris McCabe just coming into that long left-hander Holiday in Ireland corner. Young driver just joined the class. In fact, that's Brian Hardy again. Hard to distinguish those cars. He's battling away with Liam Murphy. Here comes number 2 again, our leader, down into 7A and getting very sideways, and that's because his mirrors are full of the black car of our pole man Trevor Duffy. And Duffy was on pole by a significant margin, well over half a second, but again very sideways. That car doesn't look quite as composed as our front runners. Very, very sideways there, young Newsom. And in fact, it looks like Liam Murphy going to have a look at him into the right-hander now, and around goes somebody. That's Chris McCabe, young man that can be found pulling pints in Tremiskin to pay for his racing at the weekends. And here comes our leader. Great battle now at the front. Formula Shane as ever, giving us great entertainment. This time our leader has to defend. Duffy knows exactly what he's doing. Straight back to the outside to get a quicker line, try and get the run out of Dunlop corner, and just tucking into the slipstream now as they pull third and then fourth gear on the main straight here at Mondello. And a hand in the air, unfortunately a problem for Duffy, so not sure what the problem is there. And again, it's very, very unusual for these cars to give any trouble, but certainly a problem there for the Gerard Stafford Plantar car of Trevor Duffy, and that has handed a huge lead to number 2, Anton Savage. And in fact, Drury now up to second place, a great run from him. Then it's Micheál Balfe, who's holding off David Hall. So Hall perhaps a little bit off form in relative terms. Remember, he is the new 2007 Formula Shane champion. And here he comes again, closing in on the twiddly bits. Maybe a problem in the straight line for him. but not managing to mount an assault on that third place yet. He will want to finish on the podium if he can. Final race of the season, remember. Here comes Balfe now down into Holiday in Ireland corner. Long left-hand corner, off camber on the way in. A lot of runoff on the way out. Already down at 7A and 7B, the two right-handers, is our leader, and he's not easing off considering he's got such a huge lead, drifting the car all over the place. Anton Savage, I should say. Here he comes again. And again, the head dip forward. Looks like he's pushing so hard. You think he was on a qualifying lap, and really doesn't need to be doing this. It's great television, and it's great to watch. Formula Sheane as ever on the side of his car. Very much a supporter of this class, Anton Savage. Here he comes again, all over the curbs, and a little twitch on the way out. Doesn't know how to drive any other way. 11 tenths all the time. Second place man looking a lot more composed. That's Drury. Then it's Micheál Balfe trying to hold off David Hall. And Savage slowing right down, hands out of the cockpit. He thinks he's won. I think we've still got a lap left to run. So he might have miscalculated that one. Lucky he had that big lead. There's the big battle now for third place with just one lap to run. And now it's last lap. And suddenly a lot closer. We may have a race. So he slowed down a little bit too much for some reason on the main straight. A full 2.5 mile international lap to go. And a great battle for second place. Could even be a battle for the lead before this one's out. Savage slowed right down there on the main straight. And certainly spots of rain now on the lens. So everything happening in the last lap of the Formula Sheane race. Just beginning, more rain on the lens there, just beginning to get a little bit greasy, and this is going to be a long lap for Micheál Balfe. Now he's got the new champion filling his mirrors. He will want a podium. Everybody wants to stand on the podium at the Leinster Trophy meeting. Somebody very sideways. I think that's Anton Cahill, the man we spoke about earlier. He's still going. He's eased away from Liam Murphy, it looks like, next up. Indeed it is, number 10 right in there. Then Lee Newsom there, somebody with a hand in the air. I think that's Brian Hardy. He said he may have problems with the new car. It looks like he has. He's pulling off with just a lap to go. That's unfortunate for him. Here comes our leader, and again a lot closer this time is Stephen Drury. I don't think he can do anything about it, but certainly a lot closer than he was just one lap ago. Then it's Micheál Balfe, David Hall right with him, and Hall just so quick through those two right-handers. He's closed right up, just 3 or 4 corners to go now. Hall really wants a podium. Let's see if he can do anything about this. Balfe being defensive, but not making any mistakes. He's got the champion in his mirrors, a greasy track under him. Really is huge pressure for number 8, Micheál Balfe, but he's going very well. And again, just doing it all right. If he leaves half a gap, Hall will just stick the SLS car down the inside. Here he comes to take the win. Number 2, a great run from him. Anton Savage, great to watch and a brilliant result. Again, slows right down. He's delighted with that one. Second place, of course, is Stephen Drury. Third place, Micheál Balfe. And fourth place, David Hall. Great stuff as ever from Formula Sheane. Savage takes it from Drury, Balfe, new champion David Hall, and Gary Newsom.
Anton Savage, you had a great win there for Formula Sheane. You were kind of out on your own for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, once I got past David was hanging on to me, and I suspect he might have been quicker than me, but he and Trevor Duffy had some kind of coming together. That dropped Trevor's nose cone off and dropped him back, and he was gradually making inroads, but every time he'd get within about 50 yards, he'd have a little wiggle and drop back slightly. And then, I don't know, he then disappeared totally coming down the start-finish straight. I think he must have had engine trouble, and from then on in, I think it was about half a lap back to Stephen Drury, who was coming fast, but he just didn't have long enough to do it in.
But that's a great end to the season for you, finishing style.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's when if the last race of the season is one where you have mechanical problems and you don't finish, and it's very depressing. You think, I don't want to do it again. But finishing on a win at least makes you think, okay, time to get ready for March.
So Savage takes the win, but the race day, the weekend and the year belongs to 2007 Formula Sheane champion David Hall.